Hello everybody. I trust you're well as we head into Lent together. If you're around on Sunday, if you're around at the weekend just gone, then you will know that Ian, in his capacity as treasurer, and myself, we gave a notice together because this springtime we are spending some time thinking about money. Now, if you were around on the weekend and you heard us speak, then you don't need to watch any further. But if you weren't, I'm just going to recap some of the things that we said so that you can feel fully in the loop and that we get to go together on this. We are heading towards a Stewardship Day, a day when we think about what it means to give financially as part of our worship, when we think about the needs of the church and how we as a community can support that. That's going to be on the 8th of March, our Stewardship Day. And church finances aren't always that clear. It's not always that obvious how things work or why they work in particular ways. And so in the run-up to the 8th of March, we wanted to spend a little bit of time just giving you some information, just giving you some details on what church finances look like, what our church finances look like and how they work. And so that's what we started. We started that on Sunday and Ian started by talking to us a little bit about where our money comes from. And he broke it down for us and he said that 60% of all of our income, of our total income, comes from regular giving from members of our congregation. So this is people, may well be you, who attend St. Luke's, who benefit from St. Luke's, who choose to make a regular gift, a regular financial gift to the church. And so our regular giving is 60% of all of our income. The next largest block of money comes from the hire of our building. So we're blessed with a really amazing church building and a wonderful church centre, and we're able to hire those out as well as using them ourselves. And so 30% of all of our income comes from the hiring of those buildings. Now that doesn't take into account what it costs to maintain them or administrate them or any of those things, but nevertheless, the total coming in there is 30% of all our income. And so that's 60, 30, and so the final 10% comes from indirect giving, shall we call it, contributions that are made at the activities that we run. It's slightly more things than that, but the mainstay of it is contributions that are made when we run activities, so film clubs and toddler groups and coffee mornings and all of the rest, whatever it might be, when people choose to give to us on a kind of one-off basis at one of these events, these contributions at activities make up really the end of the percentages. But you'll notice there, that means 70%, the vast majority of the money that we get in as a church comes directly from the generosity of the people of this local community, people who choose to give to support the church. Ian pointed out to us that 0% comes from the central government. So you might know that the Church of England is the established church. You'll see Church of England bishops in the House of Lords. We are entangled with the government in some ways, but no money is coming that way. So 0% comes from the central government, and also 0% comes from the central church. So the Church of England centrally, they support us in lots of ways, but financially is not one of those ways. Ian pointed out therefore that stability here, our financial stability, depends on our congregation. It depends on our community. We are people-powered. We are person-shaped through and through, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because after all, the church is the people, and so the church should be powered by people. It should look like people. And to that end, Ian pointed out to us that there are some who give lots and lots, large financial amounts, and there are some who give much, much less. And he said to us that that's normal across churches, that's normal across charities, and in some ways it's by design, because it allows us to be representative of who we are, of what capacity we have. We don't charge a membership fee. We don't say, well, if you want to come, everyone has to pay exactly the same. We recognise that people are in different places, and that is a good thing. The kind of the differing amounts is a good thing, and it's good that that's baked into it. But what Ian pointed out for us is that in order for us to function, it takes all. We have power in numbers. Together we come together. Together we achieve something. Together we make something beautiful. It's true. It's true across all areas of ministry. So people give their time, energy, effort. People give their prayer. People give all of these things to the church, and all of them uphold the church. And people give them unequally. That's part of life stages and phases, and the place that you're in, and the capacity that you have, and that is normal, and that is good. And it's part of what it means to be a church, to hold one another up as and when we have the capacity to do so. And especially, I suppose, as we think about money in this season. It's especially true when it comes to money. I suppose the strap line here, if there's one thing you remember, it's that St. Luke's exists. This church exists because we fund St. Luke's. That's why St. Luke's exists. St. Luke's exists because we together, we fund St. Luke's. And it's a marvel, really, because if you know the history of this church, you'll know it's been here for almost 160 years, 158 years, I think. And so for the last almost 160 years, that has been the case. The people of this community, the people of this congregation have chosen to put their money where their mouth is and allow it to be expressed as something beautiful in the ministry that St. Luke's embodies in this area. So really, the finishing off point at the end of week 1 was, this is cause for celebration. This is an amazing thing. This is the living proof of generosity, alive and well, hearts and minds responding to goodness with goodness and goodness and goodness. And we're going to leave it a bit of a cliffhanger there, because in the next few weeks, what we're going to do is spend some time exploring where that money goes and what it means for us to come together. And we're going to make an invitation as we come towards this Stewardship Sunday on the 8th of March. So do come along and hear all about it in the services, or otherwise we'll try and make a video like this to keep everyone in the loop as we go. But thank you very much for listening today, and I hope to see you very soon.